to Been There, Watch That. We're going back to the 80s once again with a Dave pick. And starring Burt Reynolds is the 1983 flick Stroker Ace. Been on the list for a while, and we finally got to watch it.
About time. I got to pick one of my A-line movies.
Yep.
I was dying for this one because I knew Joe would like it. It's right up his alley. And
Yeah.
this is good timing across the board because he just came back from a NASCAR race.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect
Yeah,
timing.
yeah. Good timing. Stroker Race, born to race. Stand on it,
Big
stroker.
time racing movie.
Yeah.
Huge element of the racing excitement you get from the live NASCAR event.
Yeah.
Set in the 80s. Is this set in the 80s or 70s? Or?
80s, I think.
Uh-huh.
Was it 80s?
Yeah.
Okay. It's right when the Ford Thunderbird came out for the second time or whatever, for the new time. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but he was driving the new streamlined Ford Thunderbird.
I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, and everybody else, like the Chevy stuff, were square and had the older look, and he was in the streamlined Ford Thunderbird.
Nice.
Fastest chicken in the
mobile?
South.
The chicken car was a Thunderbird?
Both of them were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of funny. And then, I don't know. I got to think this movie's a little bit before its time. If it had been like 10 years later in the prime of NASCAR, can you imagine?
Oh, it would have been huge.
Like, I don't even know how many people have heard of this movie.
Yeah, because, I mean, it even has NASCAR references because, I mean, you see a young Dale Earnhardt and Kyle Petty. And, I mean,
Kelly Yarborough, that whole crew.
Yeah.
It had big actors.
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds is huge. Smokey and the Bandit and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lengthy casting call on this one.
All right, well, speaking of that, let her rip.
All right, so for the rundown, confident NASCAR driver Stroker Ace, played by Burt Reynolds, runs into problems when a confrontation with his commercial sponsor causes him to lose his contract. Clyde Torkel, the owner of a fried chicken chain, immediately asks Stroker to be the face of his company. After some pushing by Clyde and his marketing executive, Pembroke Feeney, Stroker signs on without even reading his obligations. He then finds himself legally bound to a horrible contract with no end in sight. So we have Burt Reynolds playing Stroker Ace, and he's known for Boogie Nights, Strip Tease, Smokey and the Bandit, which is in our archives, and Deliverance. Ned Beatty plays Clyde Torkel. He's known for Roseanne, Deliverance, and Superman. Jim Nabors plays Lugs, and he's known for The Andy Griffith Show, Gomer Pyle, USMC, and the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Lonnie Anderson plays Pembroke Feeney, and she's known for WKRP in Cincinnati, A Night at the Roxbury, Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. Cassandra Peterson plays the girl with Lugs, and as soon as I saw her, I knew this one that she was Elvira.
Yeah.
And she's also played in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Bubba Smith plays Arnold, and he's known for all the Police Academy movies. And Alfie Wise plays Charlie, and he's also known for Smokey and the Bandit and the Cannonball Run. And that is your casting call.
Man, what a good cast. I forgot Ned Beatty and Burt Reynolds were in Deliverance together.
Yes.
That's kind of crazy. But, yeah. Good cast, I thought.
Yeah, the main female character, love interest of Burt Reynolds. She looked familiar. I couldn't quite place her.
Couldn't place her.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, sir.
Well, no, I was going to say, what else was she in?
WKRP in Cincinnati, A Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah, WPRE. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy to think this movie almost wasn't made because Burt Reynolds once said in 1982, about a year before this was released, that he was no longer going to be making any car chase movies.
Really?
Yeah.
That was like his main deal.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember a movie when I was a kid he did in the 90s called Cop and a Half, and it was basically, car chasing.
With a little kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Got tired of the car chase.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's made a lot of money off of it.
Had enough.
His entry into the movie comes in with a splash. I mean, riding around on 3 wheels.
Yeah.
His mechanic guy hanging out the side.
Yeah, having Gomer Pyle hang off the passenger side to balance the weight out.
I thought Jim Nabors did a good job.
Yes, he did.
That's the mechanic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lugs.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Yeah. I was like, well, finally they got Gomer out of Mayberry.
Yeah. I mean, he had to have been thrilled because he's so, what do you call it when you're just cast typed in that role.
Yeah, typecast. Yeah,
Typecast. There you go. Typecast into the Gomer Pyle thing. That my gosh.
yeah.
But he was a singer as well, right? For real.
Yes, yes, yeah. He actually has. I know at least one album because I've seen it. I've seen an old record that has his face on it. That's So he at least put out a Christmas album, I think.
Nice.
So in the movie, then maybe he can sing better than he portrays. Like,
I don't think we're inferring that.
No.
Okay.
Nobody said that, Justin.
Hence the Christmas album.
Yeah.
Singing that Hallelujah song. Or whatever,
Yeah.
When they're driving around.
Yeah.
And Bubba Smith, how about that? Getting a little acting in.
Yeah, because Cena goes, isn't that the guy from Police Academy? And I'm going, I think it is.
And what's
Is
his
that the
real
huge
deal?
tall guy?
Yes.
Yeah, American football defensive end, an actor. I think they called him. I guess he wasn't Too Tall Jones. I messed that up.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, as big as he was, I think they'd call him Sir.
Yeah, really.
I feel like Burt Reynolds doesn't seem like he's short, but he was towering over him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He died from in 2011 from drug intoxication and heart disease.
Oh, man.
Fettermine, weight loss drug found in the system. Did not know that. No children, no siblings. Okay.
He's the henchman of that evil boss, but eventually turns on him, joins Stroker.
Yeah.
Gets on the winning team.
Clyde Torkel. Boy, they did a good job with the names in this.
Yeah, but I like how they still asked for his permission before they just knocked out.
Yeah. Give him a cluck.
Yeah.
Aubrey James. I don't know if that guy was in any other movies. Yeah, he was. He was in Lifeguard, Hardy Boys, and Nancy Drew, Baywatch. I didn't know that.
So at the very beginning, we have like
Separate piece.
Burt Reynolds as a kid, basically, as a young boy,
Yeah.
riding around. Is now that guy who's driving the car? Does he make an appearance later?
Yeah, he was the guy that I'm merely the messenger.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's him?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Doc's dad.
Okay.
Yep, and he comes back in as, remember they're out fishing and he's going over the lines with him.
Okay.
And he told him when they introduced him the first time they met. He's like, hey, Doc taught me how to drive, or Doc's dad taught me how to drive.
So that was Doc in the truck.
With him, yeah.
Okay,
The little
'cause-
boy with the bicycle.
Okay, because I thought it was Lugs that was in the truck.
No,
with him.
no.
Okay.
No, that was Doc. Did you guys watch the movie? My gosh. Doc is his best friend growing up. He and the kid with the bicycle. And that was Dad Siegel, who was Doc's dad.
Okay.
Okay.
And in Running Moonshine.
Okay.
Taught him how to drive.
Okay, there was car chases, and you expect me to pay attention to minor details
I
like
know,
that.
I know. And that was Stroker Ace that kept fixing his hair in the
Yeah.
mirror.
Right,
during the
I
thing.
gathered that.
Yeah, okay.
That part I did catch.
Oh, boy. I worry about you
That
guys.
seemed like a big time jump, though. It seemed like they were driving old-timey moonshine
Yeah.
vehicles, and then it went to the
Skips
80s.
ahead 30
Like,
years, yeah.
Okay. All right. It seemed like a 50-year jump almost, but just the style of the car that Stroker's riding around in at the very beginning.
I kind of wrote that off as if he's running moonshine, he doesn't have a lot of money to buy a newer vehicle to
Yeah.
begin with. And I just kind of chalked it up to that.
Yeah, you don't want to be flashy.
Yeah, kind of in,
Yeah.
rural America, like we are, just kind of rural area. Try to stay low key as possible.
Right.
Have you guys not listened to Copperhead Road by Steve Earle?
Yes.
All right. Took an old sheriff's car, rebuilt the motor, spray painted it, primer coated it, run some shine in it.
There you go.
Boy, Lonnie Anderson's had a lot of movies. I didn't realize that. Okay, good cast. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Just give it a mop bucket now, or do we have to talk about
Well, now so the movie.
it? Joe, it's not gonna be that easy. Huh?
No. So the movie was actually released about 12 years after its source, Stand on It.
Stand on it, Stroker.
Yeah, it's a novel by William Neely and Robert K. Ottman, and was first published in 1971. So when Lugs tells Stroker to stand on it, that's kind of a tip of the hat to the original
Yep, the
novel.
book. Yep. It's funny. Don't you have anything more original?
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
That's what I always say.
Yeah. I thought they had a good back and forth
Yeah.
with the one-liners and
Yes.
stuff. He and Jim Neighbors did a good job.
Now, I have one complaint, and it's a minor complaint. Being a fan of Smokey and the Bandit,
Yeah.
Mhm.
You gave that a my bucket, right?
yeah, I'll have to go back and look. Why didn't we have the snowman driving the truck? That would have just topped it for me.
Have him make an appearance in there somewhere?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree, because they did show the truck hauling the car around, stuff like that.
Right. So I was not able to find any Would You Rather facts, but I'm going to play my own Would You Rather.
Okay.
So, would you rather see, and this is just because I'm such a fan of Smokey the Bandit, would you rather seen Jim Neighbors play Lugs or have the snowman from Smokey and the Bandit play Lugs?
It's got to be Jim Neighbors. Because you had to have the counterbalance to, the ornery stroker ace guy. You had to have a good guy.
True.
And Jim Neighbors just portrayed that something fierce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I gave Smokey and the Bandit a large.
Joseph.
I know. Well, you gave an overflowing medium, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's true.
Justin gave it a medium.
Daggone, we're hard on movies.
I think I like this one better than Smokey.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was more plausible. I mean, it's NASCAR racing.
Yeah, I like the sports aspect of it and the race
Yeah.
Yeah.
vibe and the
I
stands.
thought the
packed with people.
soundtrack was good.
Yeah. The one cringe-worthy moment for me was the big wreck at the end, because that was a real wreck, and
Yeah.
knowing all the safety protocols that's in NASCAR now, it's like, oh, I mean, those guys were basically just in a seatbelt with a helmet and
Mm-hmm.
goggles, and that's just so scary watching that.
Where he flips at the end, or
Well,
The whole sequence of wrecks, I think.
yeah, when they show that cut scene where like all these cars are wrecking,
yeah.
and then that one car starts flipping, that was actual NASCAR stock footage, and knowing that,
Oh wow.
yeah, that somehow those guys walked away from that.
Yeah, there's some bad wrecks in NASCAR back in the day, and man, I don't know how they got through it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's still some scary ones today, but not like they was. But now they're basically strapped to that seat.
Like it's a space shuttle,
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally strapped in.
that they can take a lot more damage or impact. And
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically wearing like a motorcycle helmet. It looked like in this one.
yeah,
A
Sure.
Walmart helmet.
yeah,
Wasn't a whole lot
No.
of padding.
Round pair of goggles.
yeah.
That's all you need, sir. Go get them. Well, I was impressed with all the NASCAR drivers they had in it.
Yeah,
You know, Harry Gant, Kyle Petty. They had the announcers that sound like the official NASCAR announcers. David Hobbs. They had Dale Earnhardt, of course.
Terry Labonte,
Yeah, Cale Yarborough, Terry Labonte, Benny Parsons,
Kyle Petty,
Neil Bonnet, Tim Richmond.
Ricky Rudd.
They had Richard Petty in there at some point.
Did they have Richard in there?
His name's on the casting call.
Because I could,
Yeah, it all went over my head. I didn't recognize anybody.
Yeah.
because seeing I was watching, he goes, "Is that Dale Earnhardt?" I was like, "Yeah, that's a very young Dale
Yeah,
Earnhardt."
yeah. My gosh.
What was is he just kind of in the background, or does he have a?
He's one of the drivers they talked to.
Okay.
Well, and the one blooper scene at the end where the two guys are sitting on the carts and the two guys pushing.
Mm-hmm.
The one on the far back side pushing, that was Dale Earnhardt.
Okay. Pushes him into the pool.
Yeah.
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 Smashes him through a glass door. Just totally destroying the hotel.
Yeah, I mean, rock and roll back in
Yep.
the 80s, you know?
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that you could get away with that stuff back
Oh,
then.
yeah.
I mean, not get away with it, but more than likely get away with it than you can nowadays.
Oh, you definitely could back then.
Hence the rules that are in place nowadays.
The security deposit is there for a reason.
Yeah.
I just, I've seen this a long time ago. And I've been wanting to bring it back just for you, Joe. And I forgot how good the soundtrack is.
Yeah.
With Charlie Daniels in there.
Yeah, just that opening song.
Yes. That's
the,
what
the original.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what hooked me from the start. It's like the Charlie Daniels right out of,
Oh, yeah.
as soon as you start, I was like, okay, now we're into something here.
So, I mean, you essentially you have Stroker Ace, who's a fun-loving rebel type guy that burns up his sponsorships over dumb stuff. Muggs Harvey takes it. He's like, hey, one of these days, sponsors are going to run out. And it's kind of been the underlying thing of NASCAR is that it's all run by sponsors.
Yeah.
That
You have to do whatever it takes to keep your
yeah,
sponsors
gosh,
happy.
and even NASCAR itself kind of fell into that. They had the Winston Cup, and then peer pressure from tobacco ended that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what it is now. I don't follow NASCAR.
I catch maybe one race a year.
Yeah.
Oh man, tell you had.
We're going to have to look it up.
Yeah.
Have you been in person, Joe?
Yes. Back in 2011, one of the tracks that was featured in the movie, Cena and I actually went to was Charlotte Motor Speedway in Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right. They have Busch Beer, Coca-Cola, Geico, and Xfinity are tiered partners.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's also Coca-Cola assumes the naming rights of regular season trophy.
Yeah, the Xfinity series, that's kind of like your up-and-coming drivers. Okay, so it's just now the NASCAR Cup series, because it used to be Winston Cup, and now it's just NASCAR Cup series.
Huh.
And for the Truck Series, Camping World is the sponsor on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've actually been to Charlotte Motor Speedway. We actually spent our 1-year anniversary down there. Buddy got us tickets down there. We went to the longest race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on Memorial Day weekend.
Take forever?
Yeah, but it was a really good race.
Did you take a nap?
No, I didn't. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was in the lead for most of the race, and that was going to hopefully been the night that he would have broke his losing streak. But unfortunately, literally, they called a caution like the last 3 laps, and he was just running on fumes. And buddy, they dropped the green flag, and everybody knew that he was running on fumes. And literally, he was coming out of turn 4, and the car just finally ran out of vapors.
No
yes,
way.
and I mean, he had a great lead, and he was going to break his losing streak. And I mean, the crowd was going wild, and yeah, and it's just like literally, you just see the wind come out, just the excitement was here. Then you just watched it just nose
plummet.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome to racing.
Yeah.
Well, that's, things you do to race, and that's what happened here. Stroker Ace had to sign a massive contract without reading it to get his new sponsor. So, they kind of they foreshadowed a lot there. You see Clyde Torkel and Bubba Smith come in trying desperately to get a driver.
Right.
And then, which I thought was weird. I'd really like to know what Lonnie Anderson, who was playing Pembroke Feeney, what she was looking at while she was standing on the wall when they did the air hose Marilyn Monroe thing.
Yeah.
I'd love to know the story behind that. We need a Marilyn Monroe scene to catch Stroker Ace's eye with this lady who's Clyde Torkel's assistant.
Yeah.
Let's just have her pretend before the race that she's looking for something.
Yeah.
And she just happens to be down in the pits in a white dress, standing on a wall.
Yeah.
What a chauvinistic scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it's the 80s. But it's the 80s. Do you really need a reason? I mean,
it's cringe. It made me cringe when I saw it, and I was just like, oh man.
You're like, yeah, that wouldn't fly today.
Yeah. And it shouldn't, but I mean, back then in the 80s, they did all kinds of stuff. But.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But, and I'm not justifying that scene, but it's, well, we don't have to water this down. I think is what makes the.
Yeah.
You can get away with a lot more, and that's why some of these movies have stood the test of times, because they're such good movies. Nowadays, you go watch a new movie, a lot of this watered down political correctness nonsense is just ruining movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to find a movie that's actually entertaining without trying to push some kind of political agenda or political correctness or just nonsense.
Yeah, this one had a bunch of nonsense in it.
Well, different
nonsense.
Yeah,
I just mean like, he filled up his one, I'll say boss's car with cement. You know. I just, hijinks. Hijinks of a kid. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But so it kind of fit into that whole, he's a NASCAR driver, he lives on the wild side, he's just there having fun.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Lugs Harvey tries to rein him in a little bit, but not a whole lot.
It's just basically living life for the moment.
Yeah. And so it kind of appeals to everybody because you want to root for him.
Right.
Even though he's damaging himself, and and then he gets in this deal with Clyde Torkel. What a great name, Clyde Torkel.
Yeah.
And I like the whole exchange when they do Fastest Chicken in the South, and they're just mouthing it back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
And Clyde Torkel is just happy as a lamb. The fastest chicken in the South.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, and Burt Reynolds like, huh? And then you can see him cuss.
Yeah.
You can't hear it, but you can see it. He's like, huh. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Cena asked me. She said, "Are they censoring that?" I said, "No." I said, she said, "Are we watching like the made-for-TV version?" I said, "No." I said, "They've just kind of done that all throughout."
Yeah.
It's like, you know what they're saying, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not hearing it. And I kind of liked how they played it. It's like, we'll keep it family friendly,
Yeah.
but we'll still get the point across. It's like, the adults in the room will know what's going on, but the kids are just sitting there enjoying the movie. So I kind of appreciated that.
And I gotta say, back to the music, one of the best theme songs ever.
Yes.
Charlie Daniels knocked it out of the park.
Yes.
Maybe Monday Night Football, but that was Hank Williams.
Yeah, that was Hank Williams Jr.
But I mean, and that's what amazes me is there's not more people that don't know about this movie.
Yeah.
Just good stuff all the way around. But I mean, like I said, I kind of think this is before its time. NASCAR wasn't super popular yet.
True.
I don't think.
Well, do you know what made NASCAR so popular? The first live broadcast they did on CBS. At the end of the race, two drivers duked it out, one literally taking a helmet to the other's head, and the producers told the camera guy, said, "Zoom in on that," and they aired that on TV.
Yeah.
The very next week, doubled or tripled their audience.
This is what NASCAR is about,
Yes.
baby. Racing and fighting.
Yep, that's what made NASCAR so popular.
Oh man.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Hence why when we
you
go
to
to
yours?
Yeah, Winston-Salem, that little racetrack can draw 10 to 20,000 people every weekend.
Man. Well, so I'll ask you my standard question. What if you were to describe this movie or recommend it to somebody, what would be the most poignant thing you would say?
Justin, you want to go first? Or
I'm still thinking. You
Okay.
go for it.
For me, if you are a NASCAR fan, if you're a fan of auto racing,
Yeah.
just that alone right there, that's what you need. That's all you need to know about this movie.
I agree.
That's all you need to know.
Well, I mean, because to pick out a particular scene is kind of hard,
Yeah.
but because it's kind of the overall theme. If you're a fan of NASCAR racing, this is because it has all the elements. It has NASCAR racing, it has crashes, and you get to peek behind the curtain to see how the business side of things is running. How if you aren't careful, you do a lot of things to keep your sponsors happy.
You'll end up in a chicken suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job with creating some tension and excitement through the racing parts of it.
Yes.
I bought it. I didn't think
Yeah.
it even looked too staged or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't an
Well,
eye roller.
Maybe a little bit of when they're driving, they're kind of like jiggling the wheel a lot, but
Yeah. That kind of stood out for me. I like the racing. I like that, number 10, Aubrey James, is looking for him. That's that rivalry. Aubrey James, you got that rivalry part of the racing, which always makes it fun. And
the young up-and-comer trying to knock out the king, basically.
Yeah. And so, on-track hijinks, off-track hijinks.
Yeah.
Did you see the part? Do you guys remember the part where Aubrey's dancing with the trophy girl, and he's like, "He's my girl in this town." He's like, "Well, he was the winner." And so he goes off and he talks to her while they're dancing, and then he falls down, his knee hurt, and he limps off, and she goes after him.
yeah.
And Lugs is just like, "I can't believe this works."
Yeah. So I have to ask, what did you guys think of the scene where Stroker and Pembroke, like, she finally falls for Stroker.
Yeah.
And then she's laying there on the bed, and he comes back 3 times, and I love how he just picks his head sideways in the camera shot.
Yeah, kind of like a cameo.
Yeah, like, huh.
Doing a little narrative.
Yeah. Like, I can't just leave you like this.
Yeah. Person could die with one of these on.
Yeah.
That's awesome blood flow,
But I just thought it was so funny because it was one of those things. It's like, it's almost too long. It's one of those things like you're finally your eye rolling, but you're laughing at the same time. It's like, this, I know this joke is taking way too long, but every time he comes back out and comes back in, I'm laughing again.
Well, I don't think it hurt that Lonnie's pretty hot.
Yeah.
I mean, she was the epitome of 80s lady.
Yes.
That everybody fawned over.
Right.
But she's a God-fearing woman.
Yeah.
Big time Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't drink.
No.
I was a little upset that he got her drunk by lying to her.
Yeah.
I was like, man. But I mean, he's an ornery feller. So kind of fell in with his deal, but I didn't like it.
Right.
Yeah, they could have done without that. But
Yeah.
one of those things that today would never fly.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that scene took way too long. But I'm sure every guy in America or every guy everywhere was watching was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just waiting for him to pop his head out one more time to
Yeah.
come up with another harebrained idea.
But yeah, anytime I thought about the movie, I think about the racing and just like that's pure NASCAR, old school.
And I have to say, the editing, the editing between the crowds and all that, because that's one thing I watched. Was like, I know that they didn't have the budget to like bring in thousands of people, so you know that they was using stock footage of the crowd or just recorded the crowd as they was there for a race.
Yeah.
The editing on that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, considering that they didn't have computers and all that, they was literally somebody sitting there cutting film and taping it together. There was one little small gotcha that I saw, but it's like, you know what? For the age of it, I can't, rake it over the coals too bad. It's just one of those funny ones. They show the crowd booing at the beginning, but if you watch real quick, you can watch them all be standing up, putting their hand over their heart, and you just see them put their hand over their heart, and it cuts away. It's like, they didn't get the film trim just right.
Yeah.
But the audio was in booing. It's like, I don't think they're gonna be booing, putting their hand over their heart. But again, this is 1980s.
Yeah.
I'm not dinging it. I just had a chuckle to myself as I saw.
What the?
Yeah.
So, you guys want to guess what the budget was?
Oh man, 10 million.
I'm gonna say 15.
14.
Really?
You know what the box office was?
32.
21.
11.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah, it was a flop.
Jeez.
Wow.
Well, hold on, maybe not. This one says they I don't know. 13 million domestic, worldwide 13. Yeah, okay, 13. So that is close.
Yeah. Yeah, not a smash hit
No.
money wise. I will say to everyone out there, if you're thinking of trying to track down a good movie to watch, don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes. They gave Pig a 97 and they gave this a 20.
Oh wow, this is a 20?
Yeah.
No way.
Well, the audience kind of dumped on this movie too. I mean,
How could you dump on it? It's so funny.
I don't know, like, because I found myself laughing all the way through. Now, and for some, and I think, and I have a difficult time of, ranking it right side by side with Smokey and the Bandit
Yeah.
personally, but the ratings that online are showing do not justify this movie.
Yeah, that's like a couple of the funny scenes I really enjoyed was like when they're driving to open up one of the things and Clyde Turkle has Bubba Smith driving him and he's like, "Now I know you're not a NASCAR driver." Shoot, what was his name? Earl? No. Is it Earl? Shoot. Arnold. You're not a NASCAR driver, Arnold, but hang with him. And he's like, "I'm not going to fire him." "Yeah, boss." And blah, blah, blah. And he's like, "I'm going to fire you." "Me?" Picks up the pace, and then they slide out into the lake, and, it's an officer saying, "I'm not mad." "Now I'm mad." Kind of those little funnies that, made it a little charming, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah, interesting stuff. How they can translate four or five different stories into one movie. So you had your romantic part, you had Lugs Harvey playing the angel on the shoulder part, you had Clyde Torkel, I want to say everybody thought he was like the evil businessman, but he was just shrewd.
Yeah.
He was doing his deal as a businessman.
Right.
And then you had Arnold, who had to pick loyalties, and then you had Stroker Ace's rebellious, attitude tied in with NASCAR and everything else.
Right.
So
And the rival driver too, number 10 and
Yep.
Yeah,
side story.
I thought he was kind of like an understory, but great either way. Great
Yeah.
regardless.
And they pulled it out at the end with him giving him credit. "You're number one,"
Yeah.
And so
At one point, he had a gun and was possibly going to shoot him, but they're buddies now.
yeah. Welcome to NASCAR, baby. Still, how many years ago was this? 35 years?
Yeah.
Still going on 35 years later, as Joe can attest from 2 weeks ago when he was dad at a NASCAR race.
Yeah.
Still fighting and rubbins racing.
I thought everything moved along pretty quickly. Like the story was nice and moved from one thing to the next. It didn't hang around too long and get slow at any point.
Yeah, it kept a good pace. It wasn't too fast, but yet they didn't have filler just because.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple extra hijinks that you could leave or take in. It wouldn't affect the movie too much, but
Yeah. Couple things here or there.
definitely some shenanigans going on in between races.
Yeah. So what was your favorite part?
That win at the end.
Really?
Yep.
Man, I really like just the roar of the motors, the old school cars, you know, in the racing scenes.
Yeah.
And the music playing behind it. I was just like, yeah, that's old school NASCAR. And you just don't see that anymore. So it kind of, it appealed to me, that part of it. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
So, Joe?
It's the cards for me too. Just this is when NASCAR was NASCAR. It's and I'm not talking about, I'm not dogging the safety features. I'm just saying NASCAR today is so watered down compared to what it used to be.
All the cars look alike today.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I liked about this, was that you could see the difference between the Chevys, the Buicks, the Fords. You know, like I say, Stroker Race's Ford Thunderbird was completely different, streamlined.
Yeah.
You know, where Aubrey James was driving the square-faced, you know, whatever kind of car that is. And
yeah, because nowadays all the cars look exactly the same. Literally the only difference is the vinyl on the front that says it's a Ford Mustang or it's a Chevy whatever. And it's like, no, they're not. They're the exact same car, exact same frames. And I mean, literally the only difference is the color of the vinyl and the emblem on the front.
Yeah, I mean, and back in this era, cars had differences. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much of their budget do you think went into the cars, the race cars used?
I don't think a whole lot, because a lot of the footage was NASCAR footage that didn't have, you know, them in it.
Yes, I mean, other than Stroker's car and Aubrey's car.
Although that could have been somebody else in the number 10.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you know what I mean? It could have been like somebody's actual car footage, but I don't know. But they still would have had to do one special for him, I'm assuming.
Right.
So you think when they're zoomed out, a lot of times they're using footage, and then when it's like a little bit closer, they just have like 4 or 5 cars? Because some of those, they're like close and they're kind of almost tailgating each other, and there's like
they did film it, and I saw somewhere in the research.
Yeah, they actually they
2 different NASCAR places.
Well, actually they did 5.
Oh, okay, it's 5.
Yeah, Atlanta Motor Speedway, Daytona International Speedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Darlington in South Carolina, and Talladega Super Speedway in Alabama. Because that was one thing I looked for, because I've watched the Daytona race over the years enough. I know what it looks like, and I've been to the Charlotte Raceway, and that's one thing I looked for to see if they used the same footage, claiming to be at both tracks. But as soon as I seen Charlotte, I was like, no, that's actually Charlotte. So they actually did go to
they went there and did
the tracks.
And so, Joe, you got your movie pick ready for next go round?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's rate this baby up.
All right.
I'm man, I'm torn. You guys could convince me.
I'm going large on this one. I was entertained the whole time, and after such a dud last week with Pig, this is a breath of fresh air.
I'm definitely at least a large.
Yeah.
On the borderline of mop bucket. Nah, I'm going large or overflowing large. Depends on what Joe says. Joe, where you at?
I gave Smoking the Bandit a large, and this one personally is a very close second. I can't say it's right neck and neck. It's like,
no way.
Smoking the Bandit just for whatever reason.
Smoking the Bandit had way more silliness.
Well, maybe that's what it is, or I'm just having an off day. But
Joe.
I'm still but now I gave Smoking the Bandit calm down, Dave. I gave Smoking the Bandit a large, and I'm going to give Stroker Ace the same treatment. I'm giving it as large as well.
All right, I'm going to go overflowing large just because the daggone Charlie Daniels theme song. My gosh.
That's what got you.
My gosh. Stand on it, Stroker. Number 10's around the corner.
Yeah.
I've got to go with that. So overflowing large for me.
Nice.
All right, good deal.
Solid scores. Much
Yeah.
better than Rotten Tomatoes. Gave.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Dave, I have to give you credit. As much pains as bad as it pains me to do so, I have to give you credit. You finally got us out of this rut because I've given 2 burns in the last 2 weeks.
Well, and Joe, this movie was for you.
Well, I
I've
appreciate
been
it.
waiting to get this one on the billing because it's like, yeah, this is right up Joe's alley, a little NASCAR, and it's good timing with my pick rolling around after your NASCAR race. So.
Yeah.
2 birds back to back.
Yeah.
Well, what's your pick for next week, Joe? You said we were talking a little bit before the show started, and you forgot yours, but then you remembered it. And you got
I forgot. So I went back to the ye old algorithms.
the algorithm speaks.
And this one, it's kind of a twofer for me because it was on my personal list,
Okay.
and and the algorithms did me well. So I'm going with a Morgan Freeman flick
Okay.
Morgan Freeman.
from 1989.
Oh, is this the one where Jodie Foster? Silence of the Lambs?
No,
Okay.
Lean on Me.
Lean on Me.
Yes.
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
I'm pulling out
Okay.
the big guns on this
I
one.
have not seen this one for a long time, but I have seen it.
I've had mixed feelings for this because I loved this movie growing up, and then when Justin and I were in high school, we had a principal. The first day I ever met him, he tried to be Joe Clark, and was like, "No, we're not anywhere near
Yeah.
this bad," and that kind of ruined the movie for me because like having a real life principal that thought he was Joe Clark and would just come off as a buffoon in real life is like kind of ruined it for me. But I watched it again a while back and fell back in love with it. And then when the algorithms popped up and said, if you like this movie, you'd like Lean on Me, I was like, okay, well, the algorithms have spoken.
Does this have like a Freedom Riders type vibe? Is this?
No, it's Morgan Freeman becomes a principal of this inner city school that is basically just run rampant of do whatever, and he takes some questionable measures to bring justice and order. It's almost like Freedom Riders. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not firing on all cylinders this morning. Yeah, it's very similar
right.
to. Yeah, I would say it's close to Freedom Riders. Yes.
Okay. Staying with the 80s.
But this
Another 80s flick.
But this is just like Freedom Riders. It's based on a true story. So.
All right. Yeah, never seen it. I'm looking forward to it.
Like I say, I've seen it. It's a 80s,
Yeah, 89.
89 deal. Which is right in my genre.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember watching it and thinking it was a pretty good movie back then. But I can't remember any details at all.
I went back
So
and watched
this
it.
will be good.
When
You
I
watched it already?
Well, I watched it.
Joe.
I watched it a few weeks ago because first
Okay.
time I'd seen it online in ages, and Cena
Yeah.
had never seen it.
Nice.
And I thought there was more school scenes than there was, but there's not.
Yeah, I can't. Like I say, I remember seeing it. And I remember thinking I liked it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember specifics. Hold on. What scene to think of Stroke Race?
She gave it a large.
Nice. Did your dad watch it, Justin?
Nope. Just me.
Are you going to show it to him?
Uh,
Is that his kind of movie?
probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a big Burt fan.
Yeah. How can you not like
Certainly not.
hairy
a
chest,
NASCAR.
big hair, ornery smile?
That
Okay.
mustache. Just,
Yeah, big old stash.
Jeez.
Yeah. Stand on it, Stroker. Anyway. All right, lean on me. That's
Yeah.
great for next
It's a
week.
bit-
And then we go to the fan picks. So if you're listening and you haven't got your fan picks in there, get them in there. We love going through the fan picks.
Yes.
It's one of my favorites. I mean, Joe does a pretty good job of picking movies. Justin stinks,
Yeah.
but the fan picks are usually okay. No, I'm joking.
Well, now I was gonna say there is.
You
a little-
guys didn't like the general, but I kind of did like it.
Well, I didn't hate it.
I know. I'm just saying.
Now Pig, on the other hand.
Oh, Pig was horrible.
Yeah.
Justin, you better start working now
Yeah.
to redeem yourself. You got a couple of weeks, but man, you got to do some work.
Yeah, because
here.
I used to hold Justin's credibility up rather high, and man,
he
Pig,
needs an algorithm.
well, Justin's way of picking failed him miserably on that.
You
last
might do a
one.
little preview of these movies, just
Yeah.
so that you don't get hammered.
Well, at least
again.
look at the trailer.
I don't know if the
Lesson
trailer would have
learned.
big.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
What a disaster.
Anyway, yeah. Lean on me, Joe.
But
Doing work.
but it's picks like Pig that entertain us and makes us appreciate the good movies.
You know, and that is so true because you have to have the bad in order to appreciate the good.
Yeah.
And that you're 100% right. I'm a big believer in that.
And you're just hoping that you're not the one that provides the bad one.
Yeah. You can't be the one on the chopping block.
Yeah.
That's why I knew when Stroker Race, when you're like, yeah, we can do Stroker Race this week. I was like, sweet, because it's not like a home run grand slam, but it's good enough to like make everybody feel good.
It pulls out of the slump.
You walk away from that and smile a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of just shaking your head.
Yeah, like what the hell just happened?
So if you want to watch Lean on Me, it is on Roku channel and HBO Max.
Okay.
So if you're a subscriber to either of those,
I have
can watch
HBO
it.
Max.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So Lean on Me it is. So join us next week. And Justin, or who does the out over here? I can't remember. Joseph with the out.
So for all of our reviews and coverage, be sure to visit our website at beentherewatchthat.com. Be sure to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at BTWT Pod for all that. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Been There, Watch That. We're on all the major platforms, and all of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm.
Okay. Well, Justin. All right. For myself, Joe, and Justin, we'll be back next week with Lean on Me, Joe's pick. Make sure you join us. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.